So, thank you, Jamie, for giving us the opportunity to be able to talk. I wanted to give you a little bit more of an insight into me because I know you mentioned that right at the start, Jamie. And I kind of got into marketing the same way everybody does by being a DJ on stage in Magaluf. And there are stories that I can only say in the breakout rooms, as Dave said a little bit earlier on. Fast forward, I think the last year I did that was 2019. Fast forward to now, I have an amazing family with two young kids. One is turning 4 in July, and one is turning 5 months in 3 days. And I'm juggling all of this while speaking at events. I live over in Northern Ireland, so I fly a lot. I landed last night from my first masterclass day on Tuesday and a sales training event on Wednesday. Landed last night at 12:30, got into the house at about 1:30. So I'm constantly trying to juggle all of that whilst also having time with the family, balancing a lot of things. And last week marked exactly a year in my first business. And in that time, I've closed sales of £282,000. It has been a good year. And thank you for the hand waving, Dave. I've only been able to do that and juggle my own time because I'm automating things. And I want during this presentation for you to experience how easy it is, but also the importance behind it. Because I genuinely believe that if you aren't automating certain bits, you are offering your clients a poor experience. So I want everybody to share this with me. Most of you will be on your computers, so feel free to very quickly get your phones out, scan that QR code, and it's going to ask you for a couple of bits of information. Anybody that can't do that, I'm going to post that in the chat very quickly for us, if I can work out exactly where the chat is, he says optimistically. Where is the chat? If anybody needs it in the chat, just give me a wave and I can put it in the chat. I'll get you to fill out the form that's there. Now, spoiler alert, you're going to get a beautiful selfie of me coming through on your phones, and I'm going to get you to interact while we're talking. I'm also going to send you over some free gifts, and have a little bit of fun while we're doing it. The reason I'm doing this is I want to show you how easy this can be to be able to get people into automated series and explaining the benefits of it. So you're going to hear my phone going crazy. That noise coming through is me getting a WhatsApp saying everybody's doing it. So to give you an idea of what that looks like, anybody that can still see my screen, it will pop up all the way through. So this is how easy my life sort of becomes as everybody comes in. You're going to get a lovely selfie of me with a passive aggressive sentence that I want you to click on. Please be nice. I'd always appreciate you being nice. The reason is I'm just pasting the link there into the chat. It does literally, my phone goes crazy. And I get to see who's being passive aggressive as well. So Micah said that scared me. Lisa says your hair's messy. Thank you, Lisa. That's fine. Neil said that scared me. Jesse said, what stunning beauty. Jesse got the right answer. Thank you very much. So as people go through, it's very, very easy for me to get to interact with lots of people. I'll be able to say in around about 5-10 minutes exactly how many people have done this. Now, the reason I do it is very often I hear from business owners, right, when a lead comes in, I get back to them as soon as I can, which is brilliant. But actually, as soon as you can isn't as soon as they want it. And you've got to remember, no one gives a shit about your business. I'm literally writing a book called No One Gives a Shit About Your Business that'll be out on the 29th of August. And the reason this is important is if you go into planning out what your customer journey looks like from a perspective of everybody cares about me, they love me, of course they do, you're going to fail. Because so many people will drop off because they have an unanswered question that you didn't think they'd ask. They don't know something you assume they should know. All of this is really, really important for you to understand. If you view it as nobody cares about your business, what you put in place as part of that customer journey is more effective. Now, show me a few jazz hands if you've ever inquired with a business and been left thinking, right, what the hell happens next? Just so that I can see. Perfect, most of us. Now keep those jazz hands going if that made you more likely to buy from that business. Everybody slowly goes like this and puts their hands down. We don't. If we're left in a state of uncertainty, we're not going to hand over money at that stage. It's not a good emotion to be in. So, a few tips. I want you to look at it from their perspective, and I want you to understand that most human beings do one of three things. There are exceptions, there are outliers, but for the most part, people fall into these three categories. They do what they've always done, they do what feels familiar to them, or they do what they think everybody else is doing. If in your customer journey you are trying to deviate from one of those three things, you're asking them to behaviorally do something they're not used to doing when they don't care about you yet. That's a really important part. You need to understand they don't care. So trying to get them to do something they wouldn't normally do is really difficult. If you said to somebody, brilliant, let's work together. I only accept payment in cash envelopes sent via pigeon carrier, nobody would work with you because they don't care enough to try and change that normal behavior. So customer interest over time will only ever decrease unless you are sending stuff to them and giving them that interaction. If somebody inquires at 1 o'clock in the morning and they get nothing, no information, they're left in a state of anxiety, even if you get back to them at 9 o'clock the following day. You need to understand that over time, their interest decreases unless you're putting things in place to be able to nurture them. So, spoiler alert, at 7 o'clock tonight, everybody that scanned that, which currently is 34 people, are going to get a video from me saying thank you for scanning that and watching me talk earlier on. By the way, if you want to have a little bit of fun, please feel free to tell me to fuck off in that chat because it will send you a picture. And whenever I say that, I always look at the phone and see, right, who is the first person that's going to tell me to fuck off? I'm always waiting for that. But if you send me that, it will genuinely send you a picture. Who was the first person? God, that was a Sam Swithenback. Hold on, Sam, I was with you on Tuesday and you're telling me to fuck off. Thanks for being the first person to send that through. But it's also good to see how many people are doing it. Vic, Laura, Helen, Vicky, Tracy, Mike. Brilliant. Thank you. Good to know I have friends. That's always good. So I say, as a real key of implementation here, do as Lionel Richie says, make it really, really easy for the person to do the next thing. If the next thing you want them to do is engage, get them to engage. I've managed to get almost everybody in this conversation sending me messages and interacting. I've made it really easy for you to do it. Make it really easy for people to do everything, and especially make it easy for people to give you money. As our last speaker, Yinka said, money is the driving force of every single business. Make it really easy for people to give you money. Your journey for somebody that is likely to give you 10 times more money and revenue should be the same as every customer that's coming into your process. And most people I speak to, if they've got somebody that's going to spend 10 times more money than anything else, than any other client before, spends extra attention looking after them. But actually, if their journey was the same as everybody's, you'd make more money across the board. So this is a really important part. Conversations lead to conversions. Jamie makes this point so elegantly. The more conversations you're having with people, the more people will eventually recommend you, refer you, speak to you, work with you, connect with you, think about you when they're connecting with other people. The more conversations you can have, the better. And if they're coming into your world and you're ignoring them briefly at the time at which their interest is highest, the chances of you having that conversation is less and less and less. This isn't being arrogant on my side, but I have a really good chance now to have a conversation with 36 people that I haven't necessarily spoken to before, half of which have told me to fuck off, by the way, so thank you for that. But I've got that opportunity because I've made it really easy for you to do it. So, 2 final tips before I get kicked out of the timing. Firstly, plan out what that journey looks like from a granular level. If you have people coming into your business, work out what happens during that journey. And I'm not talking about they inquire, I want them to book a meeting. I mean, they inquire, what gets sent to them? How are you encouraging the engagement? How are you encouraging the conversation? How easy are you making it for them to book a meeting in with you? What happens next? For me, it's as easy as send me the word meeting. If anybody at any point sends me the word meeting, it will send you a link to book into my calendar and book a meeting. I've made it really easy for you to do the next step. And if you don't book a meeting in and don't tell me you're not interested, you'll get a video tomorrow as well. Spoiler alert. Sorry, I should have said that at the start, but that happens. I automate a lot of things. The last thing is what I call the 0 to 80 theory. Now, I haven't got a huge amount of time to go into this, but most businesses, when they're putting in automation, try and think of the absolute perfection of automation, which I call the 100 part. Absolutely perfect customer journeys. They are impossible. You cannot achieve perfection in business. And even if you think you have, your perfection isn't somebody else's. But most people try and make it perfect. And the effort it takes to get to that point is so much that most people don't undertake it. I can't remember who said it earlier, but it was about taking action. My 0 to 80 theory is the effort that you put to get 80% of the return isn't actually as much as the effort to go from 80 to 85. or 85 to 87. And if you focus on doing the core of it by planning out what everybody could go through and then making it better and then improving and then adding 1% and then going continuing, that's a better use of your time and you'll get more of it done. That's a big chapter in the book that I haven't done a hugely great job of summarizing. But hopefully that's covered 10 minutes and I haven't overrun by too much.